Hey, hi Amit.
Hey, Puneet, how are you?
Good, good. First of all, thank you so much, for connecting with us, for this exciting next episode of IT Talks.
Sure, no worries. Yeah, my
Yeah,
pleasure.
I know I have been following you up for a long time, but yeah, here we are today.
Yes,
Great, so why not let us get started, and maybe you can introduce yourselves to our viewers.
sure. Yeah. So, my name is Amit Singhal. I've got like more than 20 years of IT experience with various organizations. I always worked in banking domain, so either investment banking, corporate banking, physical banking. Currently, I'm working with a bank and in corporate audit department. So my current role is audit in charge for technology audits. That's what I do.
Great, so that's why, I thought, to connect with you. You have got such vast experience under your belt, and it definitely, and auditing is one field which I have been really, thinking about, and I personally don't have much knowledge into. That's why I thought, you are an expert in that field, and let us hear more about it as we proceed with our talk today. So,
Sure.
can you tell us more about your current role? You're working as an auditor. So, what are your responsibilities, and what are the challenges that are associated with this role?
Okay. So my responsibilities include audit scoping. So like it starts with the audit scoping and audit scoping through process understanding, the process which you are going to audit, and discussion with the management of that auditing process, and then do the risk and control assessment for the particular process, and link it with the enterprise critical area. So the organization I work, what are the critical areas for that particular enterprise? So link the audit processes, what is critical from audit point of view, from risk and control point of view, and then obviously creating the audit test step, because when you go and audit a process, there could be thousand things, and you need to while you are doing scoping and while you have process understanding, you need to really see that what you are actually going to test. So creating the audit test steps, and then of course the purpose of audit is to provide recommendation to the management and finding issues as well. So finding issues and then do the strategic planning session with audit management and auditee management both. So to audit management, that how you are going to execute the whole audit, what all you are going to test, what all risk and controls you are going to test, and with auditee management, that how you will run the entire audit. So generally, the any audit work run for 3 months, and
Okay.
3 months include everything right from scoping to the final deliverable to the auditee management, which is a report. All other documents and all other work which auditors do are kept with auditors only in forms of work paper and different other deliverables. But what we provide to auditee management is audit report. So everything need to be finished in 3 months. So that all include as part of my audit in charge role. Uh, as far as challenges are concerned, since I came from a IT delivery background and IT consulting background, so the transformation to audit role was uh, a little difficult or a little challenging, I would say,
Okay.
because audit is a different world altogether. They work with a within a they work within a boundary of, like I said, the 3 months, and then writing work papers in a story format so that a third person can re-perform the task. So that
Right.
is very important for an auditor, right? So whatever the work paper or whatever the work you do, if tomorrow some other person come and read your deliverables or your work papers, or regulators come and if they see that what have you done as auditor, they should be able to re-perform and they should be able to reach the same conclusion what you have arrived on by looking at your work or your work
Absolutely.
papers, right? So that is very important. I think that was a little bit of cultural change for me, because uh, in IT delivery, the documentation was not done from this perspective. However, here it has to be done from re-performing by a third party who doesn't have any knowledge of that audit, should be able to understand that particular knowledge and should be able to re-perform the same work and should be able to conclude what you have concluded. So I think I think that these are the few challenges which I face, and if you have not started your career as an auditor, and if you are kind of moving from some other space like I did, I think these are the challenges one is likely to face. But what I think this provided an enormous learning to me because audit every audit is a different audit, right? I mean, it's not like in delivery that if you are a technology person, then you are doing coding on Java or .NET or mainframe, or if you are working for some set of applications, you perhaps keep continuing to work on those set of applications. And if you are working for a functional area, if I talk about in banking parlance, financial center, ATM, mobile, online banking, then there are chances that you will continue to work in the same area.
Right.
However, auditing is a little different, uh, where every audit may be completely different from your past audit, right?
Right.
So that's a thrill, and and there's a lot of learning also. You need to do a lot of reading also, so that at least you have that kind of knowledge before you go for process understanding. You can understand the process which you are going to audit. You can ask the right questions, and you can assess that particular process. So these are the few things.
I think you explained it very beautifully, and you summarized in a very easy way for everyone to understand. For any new aspirant who is actually want to transition into the roles, what are the nuances and what the ones should expect. So, which brings me to my next question. Actually, so you have got a good load of experience, IT consulting experience under your belt, and then you transitioned, after so many years. I think more than 10 years. After more than 10 years, you transitioned into this completely new domain. So I'm sure, something must have prompted you to transition to this role. And what were the set of, I think, as you said, it was completely new field for you. So there must have been some, undertaking that you must have done prior to switching to this kind of role, right?
Yeah. So while I was managing IT delivery, I led few very exciting digital transformation and agile transformation programs. Right. However, at one point of time, I felt that there is a time gap, right, before I get next such transformation opportunity to work on next such transformation opportunity. Right. And for my current organization, I'm working now for more than 10 years. And at some point of time, I realized that my work has become more BAU, right?
Right.
And, and whenever you are not working on any digital or agile transformation program, of course, when one transformation program gets finished, then you have some time gap, right? So I felt that sometimes in that time gap, it's more of a BAU or more of people management type of role.
Right.
So I thought it's time to rediscover myself and challenge myself to come out of my comfort zone and explore something which I can do to realize my potential fully professionally. Right?
Absolutely.
Right. And moreover, while I was working on IT delivery side, I had added the responsibility of managing risk and compliance for my entire group, which gave me a totally different kind of exposure. You know, and this risk and compliance work was totally different from my current delivery work. And as I started taking more responsibility to manage risk and compliance for my entire group, I thought that this is one area which I have not explored so far in my career, and it is so critical for bank or any organization nowadays to work. So let me look for an opportunity. If any opportunity arrives, probably I will grab that. And that will give me a chance to come out of my comfort zone also, and kind of realize my potential in a little bit more way. So then I got this corporate audit opportunity as a technology auditor, and I just grabbed that. So that's how this transformation from my like earlier IT consulting to like I managing IT delivery, and then now in corporate. So that's how it happened.
Great, so sounds interesting. So in fact, so maybe, you want to give out some advice. There are, I think a lot of people like you, maybe who are, trying to explore new opportunities. So what will be the key learnings, one should actually, are there some courses or, any kind of thing, what skills particularly, people should look for, if they want to enter the field of auditing?
Okay, so I think auditing is like solving a puzzle, right? And putting the piece together so that they make sense, right? So if you have a passion to find patterns, and if you are a very detail-oriented person and have knack of learning new things, then I think audit will provide a lot of opportunity in those areas, right? So whenever whenever you do the scoping for next audit work, whatever you are going to do, you always don't know that whether you will end up finding an issue or a recommendation which is really very important for management, right?
Right.
And there are thousand things which will come across while you do the process understanding, and while you test different processes, and while you do the risk and control assessment. So again, I mean, if you have a knack to find the patterns, and really like to take the challenges and learning new things, so I think that is the field for any newcomer. And I would highly recommend the corporate audit to any newcomer. Moreover, as far as the technology auditing is concerned, I think in audit space we have a little bit dearth of people who are coming from technology background, right?
Okay.
So in audit space, there are a lot of people who are either CAs or MBAs or from financial world, right? So auditing is not about always kind of auditing the financial statement and such things, right? There are different branches of auditing as well, right?
Right.
And technology auditing is very important branch of that, because nowadays every organization is powered by technology, right?
Right.
And every organization, whether it's a bank, whether it's a retail company, whether it's a finance company, airline company, anything, right? They are all powered by IT.
Right.
So there is a huge demand for audit professions who have got good technology understanding, or who have worked in IT delivery prior to coming to audit. Right? So that is another area where people who are working in technology delivery or IT consulting space, so they have one more space to go, like technology auditing, where they can utilize whatever they have learned while doing the delivery or IT consulting, and provide input, and bring value to the table, right?
Right.
So I would highly recommend for the people who are in technology and want to explore some new opportunities where they can utilize their skills, and I would highly recommend the auditing world as well.
Wow. So for, thank you so much, Amit. You actually busted some of the myths, I would say, because for me, so auditing, when auditing comes to my mind, I only think about all, going through those all balance sheets, looking at the financial statements. But, so sounds very interesting, from a technology point of view, technology auditing. I think it's a very viable career for any person who might be working in IT delivery or, IT consulting field. They can definitely look up to it. Great. So are there, just wanted to know, are there any professional courses or certifications also, out there, or certain companies which are kind of offering, if you have any knowledge about same, are there?
Yeah, sure. So there are a lot of certifications which can be done. So CISA is one of them. CISSP is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of courses on other cloud security and cybersecurity. So there are a lot of courses which anyone can pursue or can do before entering into the audit world. Those are not prerequisite, but they definitely help to for a person who wants to come into auditing to understand the audit methodology, right?
Right.
And audit methodology understanding is very important before you perform any audit. And there are different nuances of every step of audit methodology. So these certificates definitely help. So I would highly recommend anyone who wants to come to auditing to go for either CISA or CISSP. They can do these certifications while after joining auditing space as well.
Right.
But if you come prepared, I think that would be great.
Wow. Thank you so much, Amit. So I think that is going to help us, our viewers a lot. Anyone who is aspiring to, actually transition into this field. Right. So maybe last question for our talk today. So, and this might be a personal one, sure. So, but it is one of my most favorite question as well. So, what's your favorite book, and why?
So my favorite book, I would say, Hit Refresh by Satya Nadella.
Wow.
And
Okay.
that actually helped me personally to take up this auditing role as well. Right?
Wow.
So
Okay.
if and I will explain why. Because when I read that book, basically this book is about of Satya Nadella's quest to rediscover Microsoft soul and imagine a better future. Right.
Okay.
So when Satya Nadella took up the reins of Microsoft, it was not the Microsoft which is used to be. Okay. And then everyone knows the turnaround story that how Satya Nadella brought back Microsoft towards number 1, 2, 3, right? And
Right.
the top 3 technology companies of the world, right?
Right.
So I think the book touches upon 2 parts, which kind of impressed me a lot. So first thing is about overcoming the dilemma to move from always focusing on the urgency of today. Consider what is important for tomorrow, right? Because what happens that in your career, sometimes you are so stuck that we always focus on tactical things, like what is coming next, right? And
Right.
we focus all our energy, all our efforts towards solving those problems or firefighting, right? However, sometimes we miss what is important for our career for tomorrow, right?
Absolutely.
Technology is changing very fast, right? And business needs are changing very fast. And COVID brought a new spanner, in this equation, right?
Right.
So I think everyone should take a pause and take a step back and consider that what is important for tomorrow, and how would they like to take up that challenge, right? Are
Right.
they really happy and whatever they are doing currently, and when the opportunities or the challenges tomorrow will come, whether they will be able to fulfill their dreams or take their career on heights by doing the current role they are doing, right? So that is one thing which Satya Nadella beautifully talked about. Second part of this book is about the empathy. And Satya Nadella is very big backer of empathy and how to treat customers, how to treat employees with empathy.
Right.
So basically, I would like to say one quote from the book. If
Please.
you could understand impermanence deeply, you would develop more equanimity. You would not get too excited about either the ups or downs of life, and only then you would be ready to develop the deeper sense of empathy and compassion for everything around. Right. So that's a kind of life lesson, right? Everything is impermanent if we see around, and we should not get attached and get too excited about any ups and lows. I mean, everybody, we are only human. We can definitely get excited, but not too much. And once we get into that mode, I think we develop a deeper sense of empathy and compassion for everything around us. So one of one of the other thing I think he mentioned, which I also practice nowadays. He said that whenever you are in a meeting, ask the quietest person what they think. Generally, what happens that some people are very vocal, some people are quiet in any meeting, right?
Right, right.
So his point is that ask the quietest person what they think, and invite everyone into the conversation, right? It should not be only a few people are talking in a meeting and not everyone is participating. And but more important thing is that nowadays a lot of meetings are happening on Zoom calls like we are having in a virtual setup.
Right.
So, but sometimes people don't switch on their videos or they are on kind of
I
phone.
know.
Instead, so if you are in a conference call, ask the people on the phone to share their thoughts first, right? So these are the few tips which he provided in the book, which I also started following up. And believe me, so I think from that perspective, I like the book very much, and I would recommend everyone to read it.
Definitely, Amit. And thank you so much for actually sharing those beautiful insights. I think they are the need of an hour, and therefore very practical. And personally, I think Satya Nadella is a very humble person. And whenever I have seen him and during his visits and etc., and definitely, someone I already follow and would look up to. So thank you for sharing your insights, and thank you so much for connecting with us today. I think your experience and this talk is definitely going to help a lot of people out there who are actually looking to make this change.
Thanks, Puneet. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching our video. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such insightful sessions. We will be regularly uploading on our channel every Sunday, so stay tuned and like our other social media handles as well. The links of the same will be mentioned in the description box below. Bye bye.